Good morning, students. I hope your week is starting off well. I hope each of you had a great weekend, especially this past Sunday as we were celebrating the resurrection of Jesus Christ. And so hopefully you were able to spend some time with your family, celebrating that event. And so it's great to be able to connect with each of you all once again here on this week 5 of exploring the New Testament together. And so I hope, as I mentioned before in previous videos, I hope you're enjoying, what you're learning throughout the course. I know anytime you're, writing papers or things like that with schoolwork, but maybe that might not be as exciting sometimes. But I do hope that with the material that you are reading, that you are enjoying what you're learning throughout the New Testament. So with that, your week 5 assignments went live yesterday morning, so those are now available for you. This week is going to be the same as it has been in previous weeks. You'll have 4 assignments that are going to be due this week: your unit quiz, your discussion, your reflection, and your accomplishment paper. And so those assignments went live yesterday morning. We'll go over those here in just a minute. I did want to mention that your week 3 assignments have been graded and returned to you with feedback. Please make sure, as you're looking over your feedback, that you're going into the scoring rubric. I know I've mentioned this before that typically just on the initial feedback page, I usually will make some recommendations or just ways that you did well in your assignments or ways that you can improve. And then you'll actually need to go into the scoring rubric to be able to see some additional information that's available for you. So if you have questions at all, about anything in regards to your grades or your feedback, ways that you can improve on your assignments, please reach out to me, with those questions so that I can further assist you. Again, I've mentioned that if you are looking over your grades and you see that specifically maybe there's an assignment that has not been returned to you yet, please do look at your email. More than likely I have sent you a message and had a question about that specific assignment. So please, if you're looking over your grades and you notice that there hasn't been a grade given to an assignment, please check your email to see if I could have sent you an email communication. Now, getting into your week 5 assignments for this week, you're actually going to be reading 4 different articles out of the ESV, one on reading the epistles, and then 2 introductions, one to the book of Romans and an introduction to the book of 1 Corinthians, and then you're going to be reading an article called God's Plan of Salvation. And so that article actually is going to be the kind of the key article that you're going to be reading for your accomplishment assignment this week. There's a supplemental handout that's available for you and then there's several video lectures that are there also, but that's going to be the main article that you're going to be reading this week for your accomplishment assignment. Your scripture reading this week is going to be basically focused around the book of Romans and the book of 1 Corinthians. And so, as I've mentioned before, please make sure that you're reading those footnotes that are connected with those verses, just because the footnotes are going to help you to have a better overall understanding of the verses that you're reading, and then just the overall understanding of the context. Sometimes it's harder, to understand specifically what's going on in a chapter when you're just reading, sometimes selected verses of scripture. So, reading the footnotes for individual verses that will be beneficial, and then reading sometimes there'll be footnotes that will have kind of an entire section that will give you a better overall understanding of what the author is writing. And so just wanted to mention that, plus it'll take you to other books in the Bible will assist you with your doctrinal research section. So again, if you have questions about any of your assigned reading, anything specifically there, please reach out to me with those questions. Again, as I mentioned, there is some supplemental handouts that are available for you. Again, those are not assigned reading, but are there just to be able to assist you with your assignments for this week. And then as you actually get into your assignments this week, your actual discussion is going to be coming from a section called Biblical Ethics. And so actually you're going to be choosing one of the topics that's listed there, and you're going to basically answer those questions connected with your discussion on what does the Bible say about that specific ethical issue or biblical ethical issue. And so that's where your discussion is going to be coming from this week. And then your reflection is going to be focused around 1 Corinthians chapter 8, verses 1 through 13, where Paul's talking about Christian liberty. And so that's where your reflection is going to be focusing on. And then, of course, as I mentioned, your accomplishment paper is going to be focusing on God's plan of salvation, which is an article out of the ESV. And you're going to be kind of summarizing the key points of a gospel presentation, and then you're going to explaining how you would proclaim or share the gospel with another person. So that's where your assignments are going to be coming from this week. As I've mentioned before, please make sure that you're not only when you're doing your assignments that you are completing thoroughly answering your questions, but then also that you are reading or that you're fulfilling the requirements in your scoring rubric. So make sure that you are doing both of those, that you're not only answering the questions, but you are fulfilling the responsibilities in the scoring rubric. Specifically, if I had to highlight one assignment, it would be the accomplishment paper, just because you're being asked to answer specific questions. But then when you write your paper, you need to have a clear introduction that does not contain the questions to your assignment. So your introduction should introduce the topic that you're writing about. Your questions should be in the body of your paper, along with your discussion and application questions. And then you should conclude your paper with either a conclusion that's going to refer back to your introduction or a closing prayer. And so the last paragraph then of your paper, as you're ending that, should not include the last question in your assignment. So anything that's question related should be in the body of your paper. And again, because you're being graded separately on those sections. So just wanted to make sure I highlight that so that you're fulfilling all those responsibilities in your scoring rubric, and that you're not losing points just because you left out a section, whether you left out maybe the discussion and application questions, or you did not put a clear introduction, or you didn't put a clear closing prayer or conclusion in your assignment. So again, if you have questions at all about the scoring rubric, please do reach out to me. With that, I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day and great week. If I do need to get another email communication to you, I will either use the course announcement center, or I will just post another video. The other thing too I wanted to mention is make sure that you are fulfilling your word requirements for each one of your assignments. You'll notice that each one of those has a requirement to that, and if those word requirements are not met, then points are deducted. And then the last thing I would mention is that make sure that you are properly citing all of your sources. So with that, have a great rest of your day, and look forward to connecting with all of you again soon.